So my name is Aakash Shukla. I'm working mostly in the innovation, startup and skilling space. Like 3 years back from now, I was leading a healthcare innovation lab, basically in which we were making medical devices for the emerging markets, or you can say developing countries, basically lower cost, cheaper healthcare diagnostic devices. And I was managing the Google Developer Communities program and a couple of initiatives on skilling in Asia. So, the advent of knowledge economy. So basically, let's start what's happening. Like I'll give you an overview of what's happening in the world, and then we can slowly funnel down to India. So, world is moving towards a knowledge-based economy. And when you think about what knowledge-based economy is, basically it's a lot value-driven. And you guys are also hearing about there's AI, machine learning, all those things are coming, and that will take our basic jobs. And the reason is why, because we are very much task oriented. So we know how to do this process and which we do that. And over there, in terms of these emerging technologies, that can easily change our work which we are doing. So that can easily be automated. Emerging ecosystem, in terms of technology, it's emerging up pretty fast. So blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, all those things are helping us scale the existing processes and thus creating a breakthrough in technology. So that's something which is happening in reality. Now come back to India. India is now competing with Israel, and it is third in number in terms of the global startup ranking. So US and UK being the first two players, India is on the third. So there's a lot happening in the Indian startup ecosystem. Bangalore, Delhi and Mumbai forms the 68% of the startup space. And out of those 68%, 26% of the startups are from Bangalore. So Karnataka being the hub and the IT hub, there's a lot of startups coming over here. So there's a huge opportunity in this state which you guys can leverage. 190 plus active incubators and accelerators throughout the country. In terms of, suppose if you have got any idea, you can always reach out to them. They've got their applications running. So you can apply. So there are these ecosystem players which will help you support your ideas. But in this data, only 20% of the founders are less than 25 years. So if you see this thing, there's a huge gap in terms of youth venturing into the startup space. That can be in form of like the skill gap, resource gap, etc. So these two are the basic things. When I traveled around, I figured out these are the basic things which we lack in terms of say job readiness or a mindset. These are the key things which doesn't let us play a key role in like competing with the emerging startups which people about 25 years are launching. So coming back to 25th century skills. So this is something like if you see, and this is in the framework which I've taken from World Economic Forum slide deck. So all of these developing countries are pretty much worried about the skill gap which is gonna come, or which is already here to be precise. And they say that lifelong learning is the key to eradicate that skill gap. And it's pretty interesting key parameters. So foundational literacy in our Indian education system, we keep on learning like numeracy, scientific, ICT, financial literacy, and cultural and civic literacy. Basically in the school days we learn those things. Now coming back to competencies and character qualities, we are highly lacking in these things. So critical thinking and problem solving, curiosity, communication, yes and no. I'm talking mostly about the tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India. Collaboration. So collaboration comes through when you do projects on ground, when you work in teams, which we usually do during our college project, which is like for a very short amount of time. Coming back to character qualities, which you learn throughout your life, and that's why it is called lifelong learning. So when you interact, when you go to different ecosystems, when you engage with different sort of people, these kind of skills comes into the picture. Curiosity. initiative, persistence and grit. Then the last three are adaptability, leadership, and social and cultural awareness. And trust me, in any sector you go, be it in industry, be it like starting a startup, or be it like doing something in the social space, these are the key things which are needed to become an ideal human being. And like when I talk about these, so there's an Education 2030 initiative ran by United Nations, and I think more than 110 countries have signed up for that. So their agenda is by 2030, everyone should learn these lifelong learning skills that they are planning to implement in the education system. Coming back, another data pointer. So there are in total 5,200 tech startups from India. Last year in 2017, 1,000 tech startups came from the entire pool. But only 325 startups focused at solving core India problem. That's less than 10%. So, and in the next few slides, I'll give you an overview of India, what's happening in the scene. According to me, it's a land of opportunities, and so I'll cover a bit about building for India. So the next billion. So in building for India, the concept, it says that we have to figure out local challenges and the problems which are emerging up. Because people sitting in bigger cities or sitting in Bay Area won't know what's happening exactly on ground. By 2020, an interesting figure, like half of the internet users in India will be rural. So these guys will be coming from villages. They don't think the way we think. They don't act the way we act. And in major cities, all the apps which are being built are targeted towards these users. So there's a huge opportunity which is coming up in tier 2 cities. Third thing, local languages. So with the intervention of internet in these smaller cities, the different sort of users are emerging up. So they don't consume data in English. They consume like information in local languages, say Hindi, Kannada, Telugu. So there's a huge opportunity which can be like potentially utilized to create products targeting on these users. So India being one of the biggest emerging markets in the world, after Indonesia, Brazil and Mexico. So then I mentioned you about like in terms of data, like there are 850 million users which will be coming online by 2025, and most of these will be from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. On the other hand, social and non is also moving up. In last 1 year I've seen the growth. If you are interested in so how many of you guys are working on something in social space or are interested in doing something in social space? 3 of them. How about the student sitting in the back? Okay. So there are a lot of things, like especially talking about Bangalore, there are a lot of things, or Karnataka in general, there are a lot of things moving up. Like there are some of them, Deshpande Foundation, Khan Academy, which is a non-profit startup from company from San Francisco. They are getting quite active in India. They are focusing on the school education. Teach for India is there. There are accelerators and incubators like Nudge and Social Alpha coming up. So people now started focusing on this market, which was kind of being unnoticed till now. Other thing which I got this screenshot. So just see like what you guys observe, like these guys coming from Bay Area and spending time with villagers or trying to understand what their daily routine life cycle looks like. So Zuckerberg sitting over there in Rajasthan talking to kids like how they use internet and the things that they are doing. On the other hand, Sundar Pichai came to this is Gokul is in Kolkata. They were talking to village women like how they are using internet. So when these guys are understanding the power of the coming India, which is for the next billion, why not you? You guys are living in your respective town, or you can try to solve things in your own respective villages. There are like huge lot of opportunities. The next digital wave is also coming up, which you have seen the breakthrough which happened in terms of internet access. Microsoft on the other hand, they said they plan to take 5 lakh villages. Facebook, they are running their Express Wi-Fi pilot program, and then the Railwire and Digital India, which is bringing people online, but there's a huge gap in terms of things which they want to consume. So you can think about those things, you can think about the other problems, and then accordingly act on that. The thing comes is, okay, these are the data. These like I got a set like ye karna hai. Where to learn from? So usually we give excuses, like I want to learn a course on say digital marketing, it's super costly, it's like I do 45,000 and I want to do this in entrepreneurship, I don't know where to learn from. I got one simple funda, it's like learn from the best. Be it in biotechnology, be it in say physics, be it in entrepreneurship or XYZ, just figure out which is the best institution in the world. All of them have got their own incubators. All of them have got their own clubs. So if you're not studying, you can at least access the data and resources on it. Everything is available over there for free. These are like four of them, focus mostly on the startup segment. I laid it down. So Stanford has got their entrepreneurial club and they have laid down all the documents and resources, templates which are needed to start a startup. So Stanford GSB is like one of the top 5 business schools in the world, Graduate School of Business. Second one is an online learning platform known as edX. So MIT puts up all their courses free of cost on this platform. So who is your customer? So Martin Center for Entrepreneurship is a startup focus vertical at MIT. Then HI stands for Harvard Innovation Lab. Same thing like over there. They have got the video lectures. You can follow their Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube for the set of resources and newsletters. And trust me, you'll get the best of the articles every time. And YC, so Y Combinator is known as one of the best accelerator programs in the world. So they have got their startup school, which is for free of cost, and they have got their courses on YouTube as well. So you can always go through that, learn from the best. When you learn from 100%, at least you will gain 40%, and then you will try to implement in that in your own local ecosystem. And this is for any vertical in whichever you think are you think can create an impact. What's next? You got your resources, you got your mindset, you got what's happening in the ground level in India. So in the end, it's all about the people and the change you are creating in the society. So this I'll share two stories. Natalan is a good friend of mine. He lives in Chennai. He thought in the same way like the way I told you guys today. And I'll show you his video, like the things which he did. It will take time to learn.
Communication is an integral part of life. Anything that we need, we should be able to communicate. Difficulty in communication is there from their birth. They don't know how to put it in words and say that this is not their good day, this is not their want.
I live here with these kids and I know that these kids are going through a challenge of telling that I want to go to the toilet and I'm hungry or even I'm thirsty. So my wife who works with these kids, she's a speech therapist. One day she told me that
I wanted to see an app that will help these children communicate better, easy to use, and something they can relate with their own pictures.
I feel personally the phone is not a phone. It is something something can change people's life. And I was learning Android as such on my own interest. Oh, I thought, okay, this is something that I can help. So they actually drew it on a paper. They gave me the screen. And this is what we want. So they take pictures of various actions that these kids perform, and then the kids are asked to point to the particular one and say, I'm feeling thirsty, I'm feeling hungry, I want to use the washroom.
Their behavioral issues like throwing things, screaming, hitting others have gone down a lot. They know if I have to say something, there's some mode through which I can communicate.
If you dedicate just 2 hours in a week, 2 hours, just 2 hours, don't have to change our entire world. We just need to look at what I'm going to do for my kids here.
We just don't want to live and go. There should be some difference that we make in other people's life, and we have a long way to go, but I think this is good.
So that was the story of Natarajan, and then he told a couple of things if you have observed in this video. He dedicated just 2 hours. He was not a mobile developer. The thing he did, he didn't came up the thing which he started with a simple A4 sheet in which he has like put up those logos and tested that on his school kids. And in terms of change as well, like we say, oh, we want to reach out to say 100,000 people in the world or things around. The thing which he did is like he tested his app on say 50, 20 kids in his school, and that created a huge impact in these lives. This is a second guy. He's from Nasik. This is a town near Maharashtra. And in this picture, you see the kind of innovation he did. It's a very simple one. If you see over here, he created this thing. So this is a footstep mat, and he implemented that in Nashik Kumbh Mela. So every year Kumbh Mela there was like stampedes which will keep on happening, like around 1,000 to 2,000 people were losing their lives. But back in 2015 during the Nashik Kumbh Mela, there was no stampede occurred. And next one. He got showcased by TED as well, so he went to New York at TED headquarters. He has given his talk. Again, the thing is, he learned throughout the journey, which I have told you, he learned from the best set of people, or learned from best set of resources, and he's just 18. So when this guy was thinking about his local problem, because in Kumbh Mela, the things were happening, so people, again, sitting in some part of the world doesn't know, okay, there's Kumbh Mela, and then there's this thing happening, and how we can prevent that. So he was seeing things on ground, and when he was 16, he came up with this idea and built that, and finally he created this thing. Next slide. So over here, everything is started just with an idea, no matter how big or small. The thing is that we hesitate, we think, okay, this thing will work, not work, we want to build a perfect prototype. So all we need is to go out, explore and fail fast, see there's like huge opportunity which lies around over you. It's like you have to visualize things in such a way.